The first very fundamental insight that I want to offer for you as you consider adopting a child from the hard places, or as maybe you've already adopted, is it's going to be critical that you consider your own expectations. Many parents go into adoption thinking, I will rescue a child, I will love a child and everything will be fine, I will save a life. Some parents go into adoption without realizing it, with an expectation that this child will fill a void in their life or a loneliness in this life. Possibly parents that we've worked with through the years go in with the expectation of maybe they have sons and need a daughter, maybe they have a daughter and need a son, maybe it's a precious woman who had an abortion 30 years ago and has never been able to forgive herself, and somehow she thinks if I adopt, I can right that wrong. But what we know from our research and what we know from the research of others is you can't have any expectation. The only expectation that you can have is that you will love this child, that you will give yourself fully to this child. This child may not be happy to be adopted. This child may find the day of adoption to be the worst day of their life. You're going to need to have dealt with your own expectations before you listen to the voice of your child. If your expectations you find were amiss, then if you can resolve those before the child comes home, that's better. But if you didn't, you can work on them as your child is in your home. We ask parents, look at your relationship to your childhood family. Look at how you felt about your mother. Look about how you felt about your father. Do you have unresolved trauma yourself? Were you harmed in some way? Did you experience some type of abuse? In each of these cases, we know from research, we also know from Scripture, that is, inasmuch as I'm caught in the history, inasmuch as I'm caught in the past, I can't be present in this moment with a child. You know, Jesus said, take up your cross and follow me. I don't find that Jesus ever called his disciples to a socially fashionable ministry. He called them to minister to the prostitute, to the tax collector, to the people that were considered the outcasts. Going into adoption, you have to understand this is not a socially fashionable ministry. This is a calling to lay down your life for the life of a child. Any other expectation will bring certain disappointment for both you and your child. As a young woman myself, I fostered a number of children. One young woman that I fostered with great hopes and great expectations, believing love alone would solve all this girl's 14 years of tragedy. And in the end, I slept in a bedroom with the doors locked with my two small biological children because the girl wandered the house at night and pulled butcher knives out of the drawer. I believe that any child, anywhere in the world, can come to dramatic levels of healing, but it won't happen in a vacuum. It won't happen without instruction and training. And although love is the most important, love alone is not enough. We absolutely believe in adoption. We absolutely believe in fostering. And I actually believe that the only real hope for children to come to full healing is to be loved by a family who understands the love of God. But we are not all called to adopt. We are all called to make a difference for the child from the hard places. But that can occur in thousands of ways. We can support those who adopt. We can support those who foster. We can be advocates. We can work for legislation. We can do mission trips. Not everyone should adopt. While I am an adoption advocate, I am for informed adoption. So prepare, take time for the journey. We know from research there's a heuristic of thirds. About only a third of the children make relatively seamless transitions to their families. About a third of the children have significant challenges that present ongoing challenge to the family, but the families can make it. But about a third of the children have challenges that are so great and harm that is so great that the families collapse. You need to be prepared. You need to be informed. You need to be purposeful. And you need to know that you can serve the child from the hard place, but you need to find the unique place where you can serve.